I'm sorry. I just tried to hold that burp off. I don't know if the audience heard it. We just had enchilada soup. I am so sorry. That was disgusting. I am so sorry about that. I genuinely feel bad. Like, I don't know if you saw my face, but literally I felt it rumbling and I looked at you and I was like, I can hold it.
We could have waited. We could have cut that out.
Well, too late. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new theme for the month. Honey, tell the audience if they don't know already, if this is the first time, what is the theme?
Us.
Yeah.
So
we're going to talk about our media.
We've talked about our relationship with media at the beginning of this podcast, our very first episode. But in case you missed it, or you're brand new here, hi.
In which case, go anyways, you bastards.
Benson and I are a couple. We have been together for 10 years this month.
As of April 28th.
We started dating our senior year of high school. We've been friends for way longer than that.
Yes.
We've been in each other's lives way more than we have been
out of them. About half of it, I want to say.
Way more than half of it.
Way more than half?
I mean, we're 27, 28 right now. We've been in each other's lives since we were 11.
Oh, God. Yeah, you're right. Shit. Wow.
Yeah. We met in the 6th grade.
Yes, we did.
And we've been friends ever since.
Yep.
Started dating, like I said, our senior year of high school.
2016.
And in that time, we have consumed a decent amount of media together. I mean, I was surprised when I was making this list, and it wasn't as much as I thought it was going to be.
Well, there's a lot of stuff we left out that we haven't finished.
That is also fair.
I mean, what's the one? I almost said The Croods.
What?
The show you wanted to show me.
Schitt's Creek?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, we, Amphibia is something we started, haven't finished. Spy Family.
Yeah, it was you. It's a lot of me showing you stuff and not you showing me stuff.
Yeah.
Assassination Classroom.
Oh, I love it.
That's one. Are we on the second season? Are we on the second season or the first still?
I don't remember. It's been a very long time.
But we're going through stuff we've completed. Yeah. And a lot of it is stuff that I have shown her. And you know what? It's fitting, given how we are today and how a lot of this is me recommending stuff to her. So, good on you, you goober. So, we're going to go in chronological order, mostly. We're leaving one till the end before Stranger Things, because this is a very important series to us. But we're going to start in chronological order. So, we've kind of gone back and forth. It's either this episode, this series, or the other one that's next that I introduced to her to first. Mm-hmm. But I think it was this one because we started... it's this one we said.
Yeah, it is this. Oh, I thought you meant the...
No. This one because the first few episodes were on Crunchyroll only.
Yeah.
And they didn't have the entire seasons. And we were like, how are we going to watch this? And then you found the complete DVD on... eBay. Somebody burned them all on the DVD.
They didn't have them all in the dubbed version, which I don't mind sub versions of anime. I prefer dubbed. Yeah. However, we had already started this series in the dubbed version, and I was not willing to let go of my voice actors.
Especially because they're very important voice actors. And once you hear the dub for the series, as much as the sub people do their best, I don't think you can go back. I think this is the rare case where the dub is infinitely better than the sub. And as you can guess, it's an anime. It was one of your first anime.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm pretty sure. We're talking today about Fairy Tail, which we've alluded to a couple times on this podcast.
Yeah.
So, you want to explain to the people about Fairy Tail?
Fairy Tail is, we start out meeting Lucy Heartfilia.
Yep.
And she is in love with the idea of being part of a guild, especially the famous Fairy Tail Guild.
Yep.
And she's exploring one day and looking for celestial keys.
Yep.
Because she's a celestial wizard. And she runs into a member of Fairy Tail. And it kind of takes off from there. It's really about the guild and how... like, friendship and love are a main theme in this entire series, which we have heard people say.
It's a shonen anime, so, I mean, if you know shonen, that's a huge part of this. Yelling, fighting, friendship, and especially Fairy Tail. So, that and the fan service, but, that's another story.
But honestly, compared to a lot of other animes, I don't feel like the fan service in this is as bad. Or at least it doesn't outweigh the rest of it.
Yeah, that's valid. There's one episode that sucks where the fan service is horrible, even though Connor gave it a standing ovation.
Of course he did.
You fucking wonder of a man. But yeah, who's that member, honey? Who's that member that she runs into?
Natsu!
And who is Natsu?
Natsu's a dragon slayer.
Yep.
Who is essentially, even though like we start off with Lucy, Natsu is essentially the main character.
Yep.
And there are so many characters. Like this episode could be 3 hours long if we go into every single like person, every single detail. We're gonna try and keep it as simple as possible and short as possible. But there's so much to discuss. It's over 300 episodes long.
And there's a sequel series currently still being developed called Fairy Tail 100-Year Quest, where even though the anime stopped and it's been done for a year with no season announced in sight, the manga is still going strong, and I'm caught up on that. And then as of now, because 2006 was the 20-year... it's been 20 years since Fairy Tail was published. They are bringing back another small fairy tale series in honor of its publishing in August. So, it's still going a very strong today, actually. Oh. And there's so much to dissect with this series.
So much.
Yeah.
So much. Again, we could talk about this forever. We're going to try to keep it as simple as possible. I don't really have any notes about this. It's really going to be like, this whole month is going to be like off the cuff. And for some of these, it's been a while since I have watched it.
But luckily, I remember everything like a sponge. So I am absolutely good at this. We start out... This series evolves quite a bit.
Oh my gosh, so much.
Do you want to talk about just your favorite part of Fairy Tail? And I already know the answer, and I'll be very surprised if it's changed.
My favorite part? Like...
For your favorite character in this entire thing.
Favorite character?
And it's not even an actual character. It's your favorite thing in media. The world.
Oh, yes! Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we almost jumped so many times.
I know, I was wondering what you were getting at there. So, I have always said, one of my favorite tropes is when the world feels like a character. And there's another series that is by the same author that I had started reading.
Eden Zero,
that I was so disappointed by because they had a bunch, like they went from, it was set in space. And they went from planet to planet, and each planet was supposed to have like its own theme, its own vibes. None of the world building was there. In Fairy Tail, there's so much world building.
I mean, the magic system's insane. I mean, you know, you got item holders like Kana and Lucy. Lucy, her celestial keys. Kana, who's another member who uses magic cards.
Oh, I love her.
You have demon magic with the books of Zareth. You have dark guilds. You have several thousand different iterations of fire magic, ice magic, etc., etc. You have the magic council's magic. You have the 10 wizard saints who are supposedly the strongest in the land of Fiore. But that's because they have the title, and they even mention that just because you have the title doesn't mean that you're strongest and that someone could surpass you at any point. There's a lot that goes into this series that I feel like isn't given enough credit, because this series is always very frowned upon for its friendship qualities and friendship is power stuff.
Which is so silly to me, because I feel like that's another one of my favorite parts. I love found family.
Yeah.
And I love that at the end of the day, like, they might give each other shit, like, two of our main characters, Natsu and Gray.
Yes.
Literally kick each other's asses for 99% of the series, but if anybody fucks with the other, they're the first ones to be like, do not fuck with my brother.
I want to get with that afterwards, because that almost took a horrible turn at the end. Which was nuts.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Urza, Gray, and Natsu are, like, the trio of family. And then even, like, because there is a trope where certain villains get their redemption, especially through Fairy Tail.
A lot of them.
Gajiel especially, Phantom Lord, Gajiel, Juvia, they get their redemption. And it's earned, I feel like. Especially Gajiel. Shout out Gajiel. If there's an anime I feel like that does redemption arcs right, it's Fairy Tail. I don't know if you agree. I know you're still dipping into the waters, but...
such... Like, for me to say that Gajiel had a redemption arc is huge
to
me.
My God.
Because towards the beginning, when we first meet him...
In Phantom Lord.
He hurts one of my favorite character in the entire series. Her name is Levy.
She's a book nerd, and she uses what's called solid script magic, where she makes a word out of magic, and it's that thing. So solid script fire.
And, yeah, she's a minor character. We do not see like a whole ton of her.
But when she's there, she's good.
But I love her so much. And when we first meet, obviously we're going
There's so much to bounce
go
around.
into spoilers, and there's no way we can go chronologically with this. It's just gonna kind of
be
bouncing off. But
I mean,
towards the beginning of their relationship, he essentially crucifies her
and her team members. Because he's an opposite guild, so they're one of the big arcs. So there's some minor arcs. I wouldn't blame anybody for skipping past Fairy Tail after the first few episodes, before the Ice Emperor arc, because it is weird at first and feels like it's all over the place. But once you hit the first major arc, the Ice Emperor arc, which focuses on Grey, you're locked in, I feel like. There's no way around it. Yeah. And then immediately after that is Phantom Lord, where it's a rival dark guild to Fairy Tail. Dark Guild. It's technically an official guild, but they're doing some shady shit. Let's be real here. And their mission is to get Lucy Heartfilia because her father, who she ran away from, is looking for her. And Phantom Lord goes to war at Fairy Tail, and their Master Makarov is like, we are not gonna attack first. So then, while patrolling one night, Gajiel, the Iron Dragon Slayer, we should mention he's a Dragon Slayer too, crucifies Levi and her teammates, which pisses everybody off, especially Makarov, and they go knocking on the door. Gajiel in that arc was a menace and a half.
Oh my gosh, so much. And this is the same with almost every villain, and this is why I can see why people are saying, like, the friendship aspect is a little bit too much, because even the villains that we're supposed to root against, most of the time ultimately end up either becoming part of the guild or very, very close friends.
I mean, to be honest, a lot of them are just misunderstood. Mm-hmm. You know, they never got that second arc. And I'm going to say most, because there are some that do get arrested or killed that deserve it. I mean, I'm looking at Jose of Phantom Lord, to go back to that. He's orchestrating everything, you know? A lot of these guys are just following orders thinking they're in the right when they have no home. The guild is their home. These magic guilds are for wizards that want a home and want to hone their powers, and it's essentially a family. One of the biggest aspects, I feel like, especially, is to counter the villain part. There is some villains that do deserve it. Zero/Brain from the Irrational Sace. That guy, if you remember him. Mm-hmm. He had very little redemption, and if anything, he was, like, done after a while. And the other villains that I could think of are Tartaros, the literal demons. Every single one of them, they don't get redemption. Good. And I think that was Mashima saying, all right, fine, you guys are sick of redemption arcs for some of the villains. Fuck you. Here's an entire guild made of demons where you don't get shit.
Good.
And it works.
It did work.
But, like, it makes the redemption, I feel like, better, because not every villain does get redeemed, and some do take time. I mean, Sabretooth. Sabretooth I can think of, that's a rival guild in the Grand Magic Games. You know, I mean, it took a while for some of them to get redeemed. What? What are you going to say about them?
My baby.
Okay, she has another favorite character from that guild, honey. Go ahead, who is it?
My baby, his name is Frosh.
Every Dragon Slayer has a cat called an Exceed, and, you know, well, pretty much all of them. Loxus doesn't.
Oh, I know.
He doesn't.
No, he hasn't gotten one yet.
Okay, can I be honest with you? No spoilers.
Get one?
He might.
Oh.
He's hanging out with this, one of them.
Oh.
That's made entirely of fire.
Okay.
I'm not going to say anything. You need to catch up on the manga.
I know, I need to catch up.
Like, I'm so scared, though. I don't want to say anything, but if anyone's going to die in this sequel series, my money might be on Loxus.
Hey!
I'm sorry. It's either Loxus, Urza, or Jalal. There's no way around it.
Anyway, Frosh is the love of my life.
He's a cat that thinks he's a frog.
So cute.
He's a fucking menace to society.
Very few brain cells. I love him the same way I love Totodile. The same way I love Ludo from Labyrinth. Same way I love Fuecoco. I love a character with limited brain cells.
There's some episodes, obviously, that are like filler episodes in this series. And they're iffy for you. The one episode that you love that's filler is where Frosh gets lost.
My baby.
And Sting and Rogue are making sure are trying to find him. And then Sting and Rogue are Dragon Slayers too. White Dragon Slayer and Shadow Dragon Slayer. Rogue's the edgy boy. And then whenever it comes to his buddy Frosh, he's absolutely adorable.
Oh my goodness.
Rogue is so fucking cool. I love him. But
So cute.
the whole episode there, when Rogue realizes Frosh is trying to find his own way home back to the guild after getting lost, he's like, we gotta hang back. And it leads to hijinks involving everybody.
I know, they're trying to let him have his freedom and also be supportive, and it's so cute.
Like, literally, fucking Rogue is like, he's trying to find his way without me. And even Frosh confirms it when talking with Gray and Juvia. When they're like, yeah, just let us know where you got, we'll get you back to the guild. And he's like, no, I can't. My best friend's waiting for me. He's always saving me, so it's time to do it for myself. And he's literally just the sweetest thing. It was a cute episode. I really do love Sting and Rogue.
I love the only problem with that is how late in the series it is. We don't get enough time with Frosh.
No. And honestly, Frosh is a driving point for a villain.
Yeah.
Which is, we'll talk about, I guess, when talking about villain and how friendship kind of destroys everything almost in a way. Yeah. We'll get into that, because I feel like that's an important plot point that we actually twist later on in, like, the final 3 arcs, honestly. But there's a lot of great characters in this, and the villains are redeemed quite a bit in some ways. Shout out the Irration Seis. Mm-hmm. You know? I mean, they're one of the biggest ones. They were all children from the Tower of Heaven, which is where Urza, one of our other main villains, was. And, not villains, heroes, sorry. Urza is one of the best female protagonists in anime. Do not come at me. I know people have an issue where she lets friendship guide her sometimes towards the end. I do not care. It is literally her character arc. Compared to the beginning, I do not fucking care. She is still badass. I love her to death. So, but the Tower of Heaven, essentially, is a tower that was being built in the name of Zareth, who is the dark wizard in this world. He is very important, which we'll get into, but Urza was taken from her home by these cultists and was a kid forced to work in the Tower of Heaven. And so were all the kids of the Irration Seis. They all were a part of this cult, and they all want to see the world burn, essentially, which is important because they want their wish granted at the end of it all. And it's so sad because they literally knew nothing but captivity and were just led astray by some dude that wanted, that literally took advantage of them. A lot of these villains are taken advantage of. Irration Seis, I know you don't like her at first, but Minerva, I mean, like...
No, I still don't like her, and if I'm gonna be so real, she's the one character that got a redemption that I do not think deserved it.
I semi-agree, because I'm gonna be honest, when you're raised in the Sabretooth Guild with a father like Gemma was, it's tough.
I get it, and if she had shown more sympathy or any remorse for her actions, then I would have said, yeah, sure, give her a redemption arc, but she didn't.
That's valid. For a reference, she did many horrible things, such as literally rig an entire game that's set in a floating water sphere. That's basically like, hey, you get knocked out, you lose, but kept Fairy Tail in because Natsu attacked the guild after they kicked out a member for losing a fight in a tournament. So it was just her and Lucy. 5 minutes were up. They both were going to get the point, but she was just like, no, I'm going to send a message, and started using her spatial magic to essentially almost kill Lucy. Like, took her out of the tournament entirely with how badly she hurt her. And then in the second part, which was the Battle Royale, not only hurt Urza's friend from the Tower of Heaven, Miliana, but also forced Kagura from another guild to fight Urza, because Miliana and Kagura are... This is a lot, I'm sorry, but this is important. Forced Kagura and Miliana, because they're guildmates from Mermaid Heel, forced them to fight to free Miliana. And it's a point-based system. You get 1 point for knocking out a wizard. There's 5 wizards representing each guild. You get 5 points for knocking out the leader. So she used whoever was going to win, knowing Urza and Kagura were the leaders, to basically, cheat. Because she hid in a spatial realm, and then when Kagura was about to surrender the points to Urza, stabs her with her own sword, takes the points, and then shows Urza, yo, I just beat the shit out of your friend and abused her, I want my point. I see why you don't like her, and I get still mad about it, honestly.
Yeah.
What was the best part, honey? Was when Urza was about to finish her off. What did she say? Minerva.
I don't remember.
She said, "You won this, let me go."
Oh yeah, she had the audacity to beg for mercy.
Because Urza was about to kill her.
And that's the thing about Urza is fuck with her, whatever, fine. Fuck with her friends.
Oh, she was pissed.
She's going to kill you.
Old man Makarov.
You don't get to beg for mercy.
Old man Makarov, who is one of the strongest wizards out there, literally was watching the fight and goes, "Oh, that's a bad move." He was like, "That's a bad move."
Because he knows his guild. He knows his children.
He does.
And that's another theme, is our guild master always calls everybody else in the guild, like, his children.
Mm-hmm.
They call him Gramps, and, like, it's such a cute bond.
Yeah.
I literally love everything about it. And again, I know people don't love the friendship is power themes in this, but I love a found family.
I mean, Makarov literally is giving people a home. Half of the villains wouldn't be redeemed if it wasn't for him. His own grandson, Loxus, literally, he went out of his way to find Gajiel in the ruins of Phantom Lord after the fight, and was like, "You should come live with us and have a good time." And Gajiel's like, "You know I destroyed your guild hall, right?" And he's like, "Nah, it's fine. We do it all the time."
Literally.
And then Gajiel was like, "I also, crucified your own guildmates, right?" And Makarov was about to kill him, like, "I know, and I'm never gonna truly forgive that. But if I let a young man like you fall into darkness, then what does that say about me, if I knew I could help you?"
But it comes full circle. And again, we're skipping parts, but
but the world is so important.
But later on in this series, he does get redemption for that.
Oh yeah, the entire villain redemption comes full circle though, because especially for Gajiel and Loxus and Jalal, those are my big three on getting the best redemptions, in my opinion. Especially in retrospect, fucking Gajiel. I originally always said Loxus has one of the best redemptions in Fairy Tail. He was a stubborn asshole that wanted to take over the guild, had no respect for his own grandfather, and was like, "You're gonna die one day, and soon this guild's gonna be under my leadership."
He was a spoiled brat.
And he forced his own guild in a battle royale to fight to the death, essentially.
It was essentially a civil war.
It was. And literally, and then Makarov's like, "Fuck you, you're expelled from the guild," after Loxus realizes what he did after getting his ass handed to him. And he's like, "Cool, thanks, Gramps." Leaves, gets a redemption arc, and through
But even when Makarov says, like, you need to leave, you still know, like, they support each other. There's, like, a whole scene, even when he's kicking him out, Makarov's like, "I don't want to do this. You have forced my hand.
Yeah.
But just know, no matter what, I love you."
And, that was during the parade, too. Loxus was watching from the background, and Loxus, as a kid, actually created their official symbol, which is, pointed finger to the sky. Because, literally, Makarov was like, "Oh, I don't know if you can participate in the parade if I'm remembering correctly." And Loxus is like, "Here, I'll do this just so that way you know that I'm always watching even if you can't see me." And that was the official thing. So when Loxus is about to leave, he kind of looks and he knows that Makarov is doing it for him. They care about each other so fucking much. And I think that's what redeemed Loxus, is that despite being a little shit, he was always loved. And he realized that. If Makarov at any point gave up on him, I don't think Loxus would ever have a redemption arc like he did. He cared so much about his friends after this, and it was great.
It just took some time to remember that.
Oh, for sure. He was it's the perfect example, I feel like, of society now, especially for young men. We talk about men and needing positive role models. Everybody needs a Makarov in their life, whether it's through a friend or through a parental figure or family member of some kind. Every man needs a Makarov in their life to lead him away from the dark path of toxic masculinity. Because Gajiel, to talk about him again for a second, I know we're throwing a lot of weird names out there, but if you know it, you know it. This is just us talking about our favorites. I mean, Gajiel, dude went from being this loner fighting against everybody to literally falling in love with a girl and basically at this...
Yeah, he did.
And basically having a kid. Right? Spoiler, I guess. She's pregnant. And I don't want to say too much, but in the current chapter we're in for 100-Year Quest, there was a fight with a villain that I don't want to spoil for you because it's a returning villain in some way. And Gajil's sitting there and he's laughing about it because in this 100-year quest, he turned giant and fought a giant dragon, earth dragon named Alderon. And Gajil's like, man, I can't believe I fought a dragon and I was a giant. Can't wait to tell my kid that story when he's born. And I'm like, oh my god. The villain is like, you know what? You never change. Once you taste destruction, you can never, turn away from it ever, you know? And Gajil's like, nah, you just gotta change. And I can change again if I want to. And you really see it when, the villain's like, I'm gonna rip you to pieces, and then I'm gonna go after your wife. And Gajil fucking headbutts him and goes, word for word I say this, you just stepped on a landmine. He was pissed. This is a dude that never cared about anybody. And he even says it, I guess this is a spoiler for you, but I'm going to say it because it's important to Gajil's arc. The guy's like, you know what? You know who your father is. You know who, you bow to. And Gajil's like, nah, the only father I have is Makarov. It's huge.
It is huge.
I feel like every dude in society needs a Makarov in their life. I know there's other great role models out there, but there's nobody I feel like Makarov. This is a guy, despite all his flaws in some way, and wanting to retire, always comes back, sometimes by force. He doesn't care how old you are. He doesn't care where you come from. You are his kid. He will take care of you. And especially for the guys, that's huge.
Which we see towards the end when two of our main characters get into a fight and then something happens with Makarov.
Yes. Huge.
That completely changes
everything.
The trajectory of where that fight was going.
I don't think anybody in Fairy Tail would get the redemption that they have if it wasn't for Makarov or somebody that Makarov touched that they did the same lessons to somebody. Gajil literally was given a second chance by Makarov. Loxus, even though he was expelled for being a shithead and for putting everybody else in harm's way, was basically told, I can't forgive you for this, but I still love you, and I'm doing this because I love you, and you need to do that redemption yourself. Even Jalal, who was manipulated.
The original emo boy.
The original emo boy. Urza's love interest was basically manipulated into building the Tower of Heaven after a revolution and brought Urza back, kills one of their friends and didn't care at first, and then goes on a whole redemption arc when he gets his memories back several arcs later, and basically is like, I don't deserve to live, and Urza's like, you're an idiot, you know that? I don't care what happens, you deserve to be redeemed and prove that you deserve to have a spot in this world. The same thing Makarov tells people. If it wasn't for Makarov, I don't think anybody in this guild would have the life that they have and would go down a dark path like Sabretooth, Jalal, Horatio, and Sace, etc. The world needs more positive men out there, especially the older generation and the generation raising kids now, like Master Makarov. For all his faults, he puts his family first, he doesn't hold you to your bullshit, and he will be willing to give you a second chance, but not let you forget your mistakes so that way you can grow from them. Men need that now. Absolutely, more than anything.
I know. There are a lot of good male role models in this as well. Not even just Makarov.
Yeah.
I mean, Natsu is a hothead, yes. But he stands on business. He protects his family. And he's the exact same way as Makarov, even when he's beating up villains, he's still like, hey, we should hang out after this.
I mean, Jalal was the biggest one. Jalal killed Simon, Urza's and his friend, in cold blood and tried to say, I'm going to kill you too, Urza. And Natsu literally was like, you made Urza cry.
He was literally like, stone cold, straight face. You made Urza cry.
Oh, no, it wasn't stone cold. He was screaming. And he said, I'm not going to let you get away with it. Hurt her again and I'll kill you. And then even after saying that, basically was like, Jalal, you can break free from this. Why are you letting somebody control yourself, free yourself, and then beats the shit out of him to free him, essentially?
Yeah, and I think it has a lot to do with respect, too.
Oh, for
he's
sure.
Like, if you have the balls to fight me, sure, let's hang out after this.
Oh, that was Sting and Rogue.
Literally.
Like, Sting and Rogue are Dragon Slayers we meet during the Grand Magic Games. There's an arc we want to go into when talking about villains in a second, where 7 years passes after some of the Fairy Tail members were basically caught in, like, this catacomb state for 7 years.
Yeah.
And basically Fairy Tail falls off the map, is no longer the strongest guild, and a new guild comes into play called the Sabretooth Guild, led by Sting and Rogue, dragon slayers that were also raised by dragons. Should probably mention, most of the dragon slayers in this are raised by dragons, except for a few that have dragon lacrimas implemented into them, which I think is a huge part of the magic in the world. Like, you can be a dragon slayer. It's always implied that you need to have learned from a dragon, which are gone in this world, by the way. They disappeared, and we don't know why. We do find out eventually.
Yeah, that's like the main overarching story. Like, we get the arcs all throughout it, but the main story that we've been trying to figure out from the beginning is what happened to the dragons.
Especially Igniel, Natsu's father, who raised him and is a fire dragon, and taught him everything he knows.
We have mentioned every other dragon slayer except for one.
Which one?
Wendy.
Oh, Wendy!
We forgot Wendy!
Wait! Oh my god!
We haven't talked about Wendy.
Even Wendy gets a nice little arc. Like, we talk about the teenagers in this, obviously. Wendy's this little girl from a guild, and it goes back to the Ration Seis. She's more of a healer than anything. And she's this shy little girl with her own Exceed, Carla, who is an asshole, but we love her.
Do we?
We love her. We do love... Listen, you almost cried. Don't lie. Yeah. But, like, Wendy's a sky dragon slayer. Yet, which, in retrospect, is so overpowered. Because she uses wind magic. Just eat air, because, like, if you eat the element of your dragon slaying ability, then, like, you get a boost in power. Natsu eats fire. He's good. Gajiel...
Why people keep trying to blow him up, I'll never understand.
Gajiel eats iron. He's good. Rogue, Shadows, Sting, White Dragon Slayer, but it's more like a holy Dragon Slayer in a way. Like, Wendy eats air. Air is everywhere. She just needs to intake oxygen. It's like Gyoza from Avatar: The Last Airbender. She can just take away someone's oxygen and she's overpowered. But she's this little kid who is so shy and, like, in a way, Natsu's her bigger brother, but Urza's also her big sister too, I feel like, and it's so under-talked about.
Yeah, they have a good relationship.
They really do, but she's always been a support Dragon Slayer, because she boosts abilities more than actually does offense. But through Natsu, because eventually, you know, there's different teams. Team Natsu is Lucy, Gray, Urza, Natsu, and, you know, Wendy. Wendy eventually being with these positive influences from this, like, from the older generation to the newer, she gets to step into her own. And I think one of the turning points for me is the Grand Magic Games. Like, I know her fight ended in a tie, but she went toe-to-toe with a God Slayer, which is, again, someone that tries to slay gods, which is arguably more powerful, as we see, than a Dragon Slayer in some instances. Like, she went toe-to-toe with a God Slayer, and she really, like, steps into her own in the last few arcs. Say what you will about other characters, but I think Wendy really gets growth during that time. Mm-hmm. She's such a sweetheart, too. Literally will do anything for anybody, and, like, always is trying her best. She's such a hysterical character, too. She hates pickled plums. Like, hates them. Hates people that, like, make sour faces. She literally hates all of it. But she's so cute. But back to Sting and Rogue and Natsu. You know, Sting and Rogue were raised by dragons as well. And Natsu's like, have you found them? And they go, oh, we did. We killed them. And we got powerful because of them. Which pisses Natsu off because you killed your own father, essentially. But Natsu still beats the shit out of them, but still respect them at the end of this fight and goes, yeah, let's do it again sometime. It is a respect thing for him. He just has fun. He knows the difference between somebody that's pure evil and somebody that's misguided. And I think that's the biggest thing about Fairy Tail that people don't understand. Like, there's redemption arcs because there's a difference between being misguided and being pure evil. Would you agree with that, I feel like?
Yeah, agreed. Like, there is such a thing as making mistakes. And I think what this show is trying to tell us is there are very few mistakes that you can't come back from. And
even the most drastic mistakes, many have come back from, but have earned it way over time. Gajiel, I mean, especially. Gajiel and Loxus did their mistakes. Gajiel crucified his future lover. And, like, it's a weird... I wasn't sure how you feel about that romance.
I wasn't sure about it at first, but I really think it's because she took the lead on it.
Yeah.
And she was trying to befriend him and just trying to, like, let him know, like, hey, I don't love that this happened, but I want you to know that you can be forgiven. And because she took the lead on it and she was more the one like pursuing it, I think I was more okay with it. Like if he had been the one pursuing it after he had treated her like that, I would have been like,
sure.
absolutely the fuck not.
Oh, for sure.
You deserve nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But no, because she was the one that was starting to show interest and feelings for him.
Because the beginning part is that when he first joins the guild, everybody's obviously suspicious of what he did, and her teammates from the Shadow Gear team start beating the shit out of him outside of the guild. And then Loxus steps in, starts absolutely taking it too far, and Levian is like the only one that realizes this throughout, but the other two are like, hey, did you realize he never fought back once against us? And like, he basically is letting them take all their frustrations out. He knows he fucked up, and the only reason he's doing this goes back to Makarov. If it wasn't for Makarov, he wouldn't have been like this. But we've been talking about redeemed villains for so long, and we've circled back and cycled through so many things.
Yeah.
Why don't we just talk about the characters?
Oh.
We've talked about them quite a bit.
I know.
Let's talk about the
There's
characters.
So many. Like, literally, this whole thing is character-based, and it's one of my favorite things of all time. I've talked about that before. I mean, I love a good world, but I love characters as well.
Even the most minor guildmates, I feel like, have a nice place somewhere.
So many.
Guildarts especially. He had a surprising role. So, Kana is a member that drinks alcohol.
Yes.
And apparently, we learn later on, is out to find somebody. And it turns out it's her father, who is Guildarts, an S-class wizard that is a strong wizard that is always out on missions. Even Guildarts, as a minor role, has some good moments in the series.
Yeah.
You know? What is your favorite character?
Levy.
Okay, other than Levy. Major character, let's say. Who's your favorite major?
Oh my gosh, there are so many. I don't know.
There has to be one.
No, because I go back and forth so much. First of all, it's not Lucy.
Oh no. Okay.
So Lucy
all
is
right.
The main character is like, other than Natsu, is the main character. She's the one that's telling the story through the whole time, but she's so annoying. She pisses me off a lot.
And then when she has a moment where it seems like she's going to turn a new leaf, it never happens. There's not really fights where she gets to shine.
No, and I think that does her a disservice, and it sucks because, so she's a celestial wizard.
Yes.
Meaning her magic
she summons zodiacs.
Is dependent on summoning zodiacs, which you need keys for. If you don't have a certain key, say you don't have, my zodiac sign is a Cancer. Say you don't have the key for Cancer.
You can't summon them.
You can't summon them.
And this goes for minor zodiacs too, like the Canine and Horologium, the Hourglass. Like, she has these as well. But the main prizes are the zodiac keys, which are the golden keys, and there's only one key of in existence. She has a bunch. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting. And eventually she gets a power-up after the Tartaros arc, where she gets to do what's called a star dress, where she can encompass the zodiac power. So
right. So that is where her magic starts coming into play.
Here we go.
However, it is too far in the series to make a fucking difference. The thing is, like, I get it, like, her magic is based on a bond. It's based on a friendship. It's kind of, like, encompassing the whole fucking series at this point, which isn't a bad thing. But it's like, she doesn't do anything. And then she gets annoyed with her spirits for not fucking doing anything. And then I was actually really disappointed in some of the zodiac signs as well. Like, again, I'm a Cancer. Why is Cancer? Why is all that Cancer wants to do cut hair? He's a fucking crab who wants to cut hair.
God forbid a flamboyant crab man want to have hobbies, okay?
And Taurus is a pervert.
Taurus is a pervert, yes. It does not do the fan service justice. Like, he's nice because he does genuinely care, but it doesn't show. There's one moment where we really do see him genuinely care early on, but the rest of the time he is a perv.
Sagittarius?
Oh, give me a break. Be nice to Sagittarius.
He's a man.
In a horse costume.
In a horse costume.
Yes.
No.
Be nice to Sagittarius.
Absolutely
He's
not.
so useful.
He is, but he's never there.
And he says, diddly do, milady. Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
She's not necessarily a bad one, but Aries, I was disappointed in Aries.
For the build-up of Aries,
because she's, like, Aries, you think of, like, they're passionate, they're powerful, she's so meek. I know Kim's really pissed off about her too.
Oh wait, really?
Kim
actually
because
is?
Kim's an Aries.
Oh. But like, it's a nice twist on it, I guess, you know?
I guess. All right, and then we'll talk about the major one.
Oh wait, which one? Which one's the major one? There's two.
Leo.
Oh, I was gonna say Aquarius. Never mind.
Oh, that one too. Aquarius.
Okay, go ahead.
Aquarius, listen, I didn't like her for about 90% that she was there. And then the 10% happened. And,
So what? Tell me about Aquarius, honey.
We had to leave her behind.
Okay, we'll get into Tartaros and how it twists everything on its head with friendship in a minute. But let's talk about Leo, I guess.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's up in your hair. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, go ahead. Talk about Leo.
Okay, Leo, also known as Loki. Loki is actually a guild member.
In Fairy Tail.
Yes. And he has his whole arc where we learn he's actually a member of the Zodiac. He is Leo.
The leader.
And he had a whole thing with a celestial wizard. We get more into that, and I could explain it, but again, we'd be here for 3 hours.
Basically, it goes back to Ares because she abused the spirits, especially Ares, the wizard.
So he has a complicated relationship with Lucy at first, which turns into a relationship of, like, friendship and flirtation.
Yeah, because he's scared of celestial wizards, because the reason he is, because you open a gate, the reason he's a member is because he refused to close his gate until a celestial wizard apologized for everything. And her name was Karen. Fitting, I know. And she's like, Leo, I'm begging you. And he's like holding out for months on end, and then learns that she died on a job because she couldn't use her magic because he kept his gate open and was exuding her magic power because of it. So he essentially got banished from the Zodiac realm. And by the time we get that arc with Lucy, he's on his final legs. Like, he's gonna disappear from ever because he's been banished for so long. So that's important. Which then leads us to the Celestial King and Lucy's argument about Loki and how Leo was doing it for a friend. And Celestial King is like, yeah, Leo, come back home, buddy. Get on over here. Maybe I was too harsh considering you were doing it for a friend. And Celestial King's a fucking goat, might I add. This dude's one of the strongest motherfuckers in the world. Cool mustache and everything. Strongest fucking thing out there. Nuts. But let's continue on with that. Loki. So go ahead. Tell me about after he becomes Lucy's companion.
I loved him so much. Of course, I was a little, like, iffy on him. I'm like, why doesn't he like Lucy? And then the more we got into it, the more that I saw his character. He was so charming. He was funny. He was cute. And then later on in the series, after not seeing him for a while, he comes back and he's just pervy.
During Tartaros.
Like, he's no longer charming. He's no longer cute. He's just pervy.
Yeah.
Like, there was no longer any flirtation. It was just straight up harassment, and it was gross, and it made me so fucking sad because I'm like, I'm so disappointed.
In Tartaros, again, we keep exuding to it, but there's a moment where they need to go find somebody, and Loki's like, yeah, I probably know where they are. And they're like, oh, what happened? How do you know? And he whispers to the child Wendy, so I met this librarian one time, and starts telling her all the shit he did. And I'm like, oh my god, okay, this is bad.
She's a child.
I'm like, this is bad. Which, it is funny, though, in retrospect, despite how weird and awkward that scene is.
Because we got the classic line of, that's the girl Loki did things with.
Because literally the librarian walks in, and she's like, that's the one Loki did things with? And she can't look at the girl the same. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Despite how creepy that was, that payoff was funny a little.
Oh
that was funny for that one throwaway line, honestly.
But even then, no, like, it's all through it. Like, he's creepy. He's weird. And, I mean, he had a little bit of a redemption, like, towards in the last couple of episodes. But, oh my gosh, he was one of my favorite characters at the beginning, and they fucking ruined him.
You know what sucks because of Lucy's power-up? We saw less of the Zodiacs.
Yeah.
And it sucks because they're their own character and their own powers and world. We saw less and less of Loki after the, what is it called? The Grand Magic Games. Which sucks. You know who we really saw less of and really got nerfed? Virgo.
Virgo's a pervert in her own right.
And you know what? She's funny, at least.
She is,
She's a submissive maid.
She's a submissive maid.
But she's funny. Okay? She's fucking hysterical. I love Virgo. Like,
I mean, she's a little creepy, though.
like, fucking, she's so funny.
I think her and Juvia would get along.
Oh, they would. They would. Well, actually, no. Juvia already gets along with one of the spirits, and it's Aquarius. But...
Well, that's because Aquarius hates Lucy.
But also, like, Aquarius and Juvia use water, and Juvia's like, hey, girl.
That's also fair.
So, and you know what else sucked? After Lucy defeats the person from the Irrational States that actually was the one that killed Karen and got Aries and Scorpio and Gemini, we see less and less of Gemini and Scorpio. And Scorpio's important because that's Aquarius's boyfriend.
Yep.
Like, throughout the series, Aquarius is always like, yeah, I did my job. Fuck you. I'm going to go see my boyfriend because I actually have one, Lucy.
Right, but I feel like that's because there was an argument with Aquarius and Scorpio, and we never find out if they actually resolved it or if they broke up.
Well, actually, in the Alvarez arc, we do know that. Because when she's fighting Brandish, she activates Scorpio's gate and then switches between Cancer and then the Aquarius Star Dress form. And Happy, who is Natsu's cat, I should probably mention, is like, whoa, that's cool. And Scorpio's, yeah, that's actually a Star Dress form that she got from my girl Aquarius. So
yeah, but, like, we still don't know if they're fighting.
They weren't fighting at that
They
point.
could still be, like, together and just, like, fighting.
That's also fair, I guess, too. Do we want to talk about Aquarius really quick? And how it was the opposite of Loki? Where you started getting pissed off with Loki is where you started liking Aquarius. Let's talk about Aquarius, the OG spirit. The one that's been with Lucy since the beginning. Or was with Lucy at the beginning.
She had been with Lucy since the very beginning. Aquarius actually belonged to her mother before her mother passed away. And, oh boy, they had a terrible relationship.
It was a relationship.
Lucy would call Aquarius whenever it was convenient, and Aquarius would just not have it whatsoever. She'd help her, and then she'd just be really annoyed and, like, toss Lucy across the ocean.
Yeah.
They really just didn't have the best relationship. Aquarius was a bitch for absolutely no reason, and I did not like her.
So what happened? What happened? Go ahead.
I don't remember the specifics.
I do. So, this was after the Grand Magic Games. There's a newfound respect for the two. Because deep down, they do care for each other, and you see it throughout. You get the feeling they do. Because there are moments where Aquarius is, like, literally caring for Lucy after taking care of all the spirits as a thank you. Aquarius, during the Tartaros arc, Lucy summoned 3 keys at once. And it was Loki, Virgo, and her. Against Jackal, who is a demon that uses bomb explosives. And Aquarius is like, I'm not gonna lie, we do not stand a chance with him in this current form. Right now, you need to summon the Celestial King. And Lucy's like, how do I do that? And she goes, you need to summon him by basically using the key that you have a close relationship with and sacrificing your bond with that spirit for this one moment. And who is that key, honey?
Aquarius.
Yep. So essentially, that contract was severed.
Yeah, it closes her gate permanently. And we do learn that her key
is somewhere in the world.
So theoretically, her gate can be reopened.
But Lucy has to find it and make a contract. I know where it is.
Do not tell me.
I'm not saying anything. I know where it is. I know where Aquarius is, and you don't. Ha ha.
And that wouldn't be a problem. However, she does have a little bit of a competition with another Celestial Wizard that is looking for...
No, not a Celestial Wizard. Brandish is not a Celestial Wizard.
What is she again? I forget.
Brandish was one of the members of the Alvarez Empire.
Yeah, I know that, but...
Brandish...
Oh, right. No, I remember
Big, small magic.
Either way, she's looking for the key.
Because Aquarius also used to know Brandish's grandmother, who was a servant to Lucy's mother as well, but got assassinated by Zola was his name or something like that, who was, like, pissed off at everything. So, there's that. We're talking about the Zodiacs as characters. They all had their good characteristics, though. What about the other characters, honey? What's another one?
Oh, I want to talk about Gray. We haven't talked about Gray enough.
Go ahead, talk about Gray real quick.
Gray, oh my gosh. Gray is one of the main characters. He is, like, we've talked about Urza, we've talked about Natsu.
We talked about
Wendy
Lucy.
and Lucy.
And Gagio.
Gray, they keep putting him through it. Gray is like... I said that Jalal was the original emo boy. No, I really think it's Gray. Because they put him through something every single arc.
He's an ice wizard. He does ice maker magic. And the first big arc in this anime is the Ice Emperor arc. Because they steal an S-class job behind the guild's back, even though they're not prepared for it, and go to this island where everybody's a demon, and the moon is purple, and the shaman guy's like, you gotta destroy the moon! You gotta blow it up! Fucking do anything! Blow the moon up! And Natsu's like, fuck yeah, finally!
We still quote that every
Have you
once in a
destroyed the
while.
moon? I do that voice so perfectly in retrospect. Have you blown it up already? He sounds like Christopher Lloyd in retrospect. Great Scott, blow up the moon! But we find out that the moon is purple because of a moon drip ceremony by cultists for Zareth that are reviving a demon that was frozen in ice. And it's being unfrozen by Gray's old colleague Leon, and the reason this is upsetting is not only because that demon, Deliora is his name, was a Book of Zareth demon. Deliora killed his parents in cold blood and rampaged across the village. He was taken in by an ice wizard named Ur, and Ur raised Leon and Gray, two stubborn little boys. By the way, Gray strips a lot because of Ur's teachings. Yeah. And sometimes he doesn't realize it.
He doesn't even know it.
Sometimes he doesn't even realize it. But he was basically taught ice magic because, it was what was happening. And he finds a spell called Ice Shell, which the user sacrifices their body to lock the demon in an impenetrable ice forever. He tries foolishly, as a kid, to do this. So what does Ur do? Sacrifices herself for his sake. And that's just the tip of the iceberg of putting him through it.
Oh my gosh, he goes through it. And literally, there is not one single arc where I don't say, leave my boy alone.
Tartaros fucked him up completely. Okay? Can we talk about that? Actually, let's tie everything together to Tartaros, because I want to talk about Tartaros, because that really set things off for everything. So, really quick, let's briefly go over the villains. Zareth and Acnologia. The two big bads that set up everything. Zareth, as we've alluded to many times, is a black wizard, as we call it. Black magic wizard. And we find out he is an immortal wizard because he's been cursed by Ankh-Selim, the god, for tampering with life. He has been cursed to be immortal. And the more he values life, the more things die around him. Which is why he shuts himself off from life completely and creates the demons of Zareth. Like, he is literally going mad. And this counters another murderous person, except they're not doing it on accident. It's on purpose. The dragon Acnologia, who we find out is actually a dragon slayer gone mad and was so consumed by dragon slaying that he turned into a dragon. And Acnologia is the reason most of the dragons disappeared. Like, he killed them all. Cold blood, he is still flying around hundreds of years later and wants nothing but destruction. One wants to do away with destruction and is doing it on accident and just gives into it because that's his life. The other is doing it because he can. Mm-hmm. And it's wild. Tartaros flips everything on its head with these two villains and all the heroes. Because at this point, there's been some redemption, some scare, and some deaths. This flipped everything on its head. And it goes back to Gray. Because Zareth ties Gray and Natsu so strongly together. You want to get into Gray first before we get into Natsu? Talk about Gray in this arc, honey. What happens in this arc that really puts him in the ringer?
Gray learns the reason that his father died.
Is Deliora.
Well, yes.
Yes.
Ugh.
You're about to cry again. I see it.
No, I fucking hated this whole part.
Why?
Because they're brothers.
So, let's talk about Gray going through it. First of all, he finds out his father's alive. And he is a part of the Demon Guild Tartaros. And they're fighting, and he's like, I saw you die. What do you mean? And Silver's his name. Silver goes, you know what, actually? I'm not your father. I'm Deliora possessing your father's body. Come at me with everything. And basically pisses Gray off. First of all, Gray is... And I feel like this was kind of tampered with after a while. He uses Ice Shell almost a couple times in this series.
Yeah.
But this is the first time in forever he attempts it. And I'm like... And I remember you going, don't you dare fucking do it. But it was all a fake out because his big arc is that he's struggling to live because everyone sacrifices themselves for him, and he can't do anything about it because he feels useless and not strong enough. Or Ultir, who is Or's daughter and gets a redemption arc, Leon at one point even, his parents, everybody sacrifices themselves so he can live. So, he learns to live for others, and he defeats Silver. And he's like, and I remember you were pissed off and starting to bawl completely because he was like, don't think I'm stupid. I know you're my dad. And we find out that his dad is truly dead. But one of the other demons in Tartaros, who is a necromancer essentially, was puppeteering his body, which goes back to Juvia, who falls in love with Gray after Phantom Lord. Because he makes
infatuation more than it is love.
Well, I don't know about it anymore. I'm gonna be honest with you, honey.
Okay.
You and I know it. I mean, look at 100-Year Quest and that whole side piece where like Gray goes on a date, quote unquote, with Juvia's lookalike, and she basically kind of like forces the feelings out of him, knowing his dilemma, and he's like, I do love her. I just don't think she I deserve her yet. She needs a man that's willing to protect her.
And yet, even after that, what happens?
He opened up a little.
Yeah, you're pretty cool.
He opened up a little. I can't say anything else, though. You haven't caught up. But Silver basically is like, I know about the demons, but Juvia defeats the Necromancer, which kills off Silver. But not before Silver gives Gray the demon-slaying ice magic and tells him Zeref's ultimate weapon is END. End, it's called. You kill End, Zeref is weak. You can end everything. The reign of Deliora, all this hurt, it's over. So, in Tartaros, the Guildmaster, Mardgeir, is holding the Book of END, waiting to destroy all magic, so that way they can bring in the Age of Demons. Mardgeir's defeated. Natsu and Gray are fighting over what to do with the Book of END. I should probably also mention we find out Igneal is alive. Because the Dragon Slayers, that grew up with the dragons, Wendy, Gagio, Natsu, Rogue, and Sting, the dragons hid inside the kids so that way they wouldn't become draconic like Acnologia. And they finally make their appearance and save the day. What happens during all of this is that Zeref shows up and goes, hey, that's my book, thanks, and leaves. And we don't get to see END. And Gray is like, I'm going to get that book after all this is done. He goes, I'm going to get that book, I'm going to kill END, and Zeref's going down. And Natsu is also like, because Acnologia eventually does kill Igneal in cold blood, which, how did you feel about that? He was here for 5 episodes and then dies. How did you feel?
No.
Were you pissed?
I was so mad.
Yeah. How bad were you? Mad? Yeah, mad. So, both villains now have an ultimate goal with the main heroes, Natsu and Gray. And either way, Natsu, Zeref clearly throughout the story when they meet knows Natsu. We just don't know how. Well, I hope you like post-credit scenes, because after the arc, when we were like, yeah, Gray, go get END, Zeref's sitting in a castle far, far away and is going, don't worry, Natsu, we're going to see each other again. Or should I say, and then it cuts to the END book, Aetherius Natsu Dragneal. Natsu was a demon the whole time.
But it has been, alluded to the entire series, because everybody he fights literally says, he is not human. I don't know what the fuck you are, but you are not
And you
human.
just think because it's a shonen anime That's just the main character being overpowered, because every shonen anime calls their, like, the main character a monster. He's literally a monster. And you want to know what the biggest, in retrospect, things was that was right in front of our faces? Going back to the world, the Tower of Heaven was made out of lacrima, which contains all sorts of magic. It is a magic item. Natsu, being reckless and stupid, caring about his friends, tries to power up by eating the lacrima to beat the shit out of Jalal. And Urza even says, how could you be so stupid? That has so much magic in there that's not even your type. It could kill you. Demons do not use magic. They basically negate magic in a way, because they are made up of ethereal, which is the opposite. What happens when Urza says that? Natsu literally gulps it down, and it's just like he's powered up with the Dragon Force, it's called. That, I think, was the biggest glaring thing in retrospect, where this man is not normal. So, with this revelation in mind, this then leads to Gray and Natsu's fight in the Alvarez arc. Because Gray doesn't know that's END. What happens, though, and I want to go back to Tartarus at some point in the arcs, but I do want to talk about Gray and Natsu, because, actually, let's hold on to that for a second. Let's talk about Tartarus. I know it's not your favorite arc.
It's not. I think it mostly because you hyped it up so much before we got there that I was like, I'm expecting more.
I get it, but it was so good, and it twisted everything on its head. Like, this is the arc where everyone truly was traumatized and tested. You know, Lucy, sacrifices were actually made. Aquarius didn't die, but she might as well have died at that point. We thought she would never come back. We had no idea that the gate would be anywhere else. We thought she was done, never to be seen again. That was a one-in-a-lifetime key. Gray had to relive his trauma to truly grow as a character. Natsu watched his father, who he's been looking for decades, fucking die in front of his eyes with half his body ripped open by acnologia. Even Juvia, who loves Gray and is willing to do everything, had a moral dilemma because Silver is reaching out to her saying, listen, you gotta kill this guy so that way I can die and Gray can move on. And Juvia's like, no, you're important to him. I will not do that because then he's gonna hurt forever. Everybody went through a moral dilemma to some degree here. Even Makarov, because technically before the final arc, what does he do after the Tartaros arc? He disbands Fairy Tail. And he's like, this is for the best after this. And fucking Elfman, Mira Jane. We haven't talked about the Strauss siblings.
About Mira.
Mira Jane is a badass bitch. Second with Urza.
I know, and if you watch the first few episodes, you're going to be like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Oh, no.
She's a sweetheart.
She's a badass.
She's horrifying.
Terrifying.
Like, if she genuinely wanted to, she will kill you. Like, she is a demon. Take that as you will. So, Elfman got fucking possessed and was forced to place a bomb in his guild hall so that way his sister would live. Everybody sacrificed something in this regard. Even if it wasn't like a complete wash of a loss, everybody sacrificed something, which in the grand scheme of Fairy Tail, there wasn't a lot of big sacrifices. Even Loxus inhaled all these ether nanoparticles that were going to poison everybody and sacrificed his own life, almost dying, to save everybody. And even then, when Freed who is his friend, quote unquote, Freed,
oh, he's so gay.
Freed is such a twink. Freed is such a twink.
He is such a so
Freed,
gay.
Freed even asked Makarov while Loxus was passed out fighting for his life, we saved everybody, right? And it cuts to the town hall where it's like, yeah, the bodies are still coming. You know, it could have been worse, but we're still losing people. Makarov was like, yeah, you saved everybody. And Freed was like, thank God for that. There was sacrifices throughout. And I think this arc was the turning point. Because, oh my God, it challenged everything. Because not only were they facing complete evil in the demons, they were facing the literal opposite of magic. Ether nanos are like the opposite of magic. They are poison to a magic user. Even poison to non-magic users, technically. There was a sacrifice no matter where you go. I know you might have expected a little more, but I love it for that because it felt like everybody truly got growth towards the revelation of what they want to do and who they are because they had to actually make the sacrifice for it. Which kind of pays off in Alvarez. Let's talk about Alvarez Empire.
Well, let's go back to the Natsu and
Gray,
because
it does tie into Alvarez.
Ooh, well, yeah, because where you just stopped talking about it, Gray had not found out who END was.
Yeah, nobody told him until Alvarez when they fought Invel, the ice. Again, shout out to Gray. Listen, I don't like how he keeps getting typecasted with ice users. It was fine for a while because, you know, it was a foil. Fucking Invel was one of the most useless simps to Zareth of all time.
Yeah.
I stand on that business, okay? The only ones worse than him were in that Alvarez arc were Nineheart, whose entire magic was just, yo, I get to make a weaker memory of your worst opponents, ooga booga booga. And then fucking Jacob Lesio, who was just Jason Statham. And his weakness was boobs. Fucking hate that guy. I hate Nineheart more in retrospect, but fuck. Anyways, Invel basically uses his magic, and there's a lot of spoilers, and I'm sorry, to fight Gray and make Gray and Juvia fight each other. But their love for each other is so powerful, they break the magic for a second, and Romeo and Juliet each other, or themselves. And then in a Romeo and Juliet style, Gray is revived because Juvia practiced water make blood. Because she's like, I knew one day I might have to do something for you like this. So I practice it without you knowing. Don't be sad. I'm literally going to be with you forever. Which sends Gray into a frenzy. Like, I don't think I've ever seen Gray this pissed off ever. Like, when he found Invel again, Invel was like, hey, you're weak, so you're probably not going to use magic as well as you think. You know what Gray does in response? Doesn't use magic. Just straight throws a knuckle in his face. Like, you gotta be honest with me, honey. How did that feel, knowing that Gray didn't use magic for most of that part of the fight? It was just straight knuckles.
Yeah, I was proud of my boy. I mean, he was going through it, but like...
shot straight knuckles!
Listen, I mean...
There's nothing stronger in this world than the magical power of your fists.
Oh, yeah.
And he just fucking proved that so hard. I was like, oh my god, there's no way he's doing this right now.
Oh, yeah.
But then Invel's like, yeah, you want to hunt E&D, huh? Well, I got bad news for you. He's been around more than you think. That's your buddy Natsu. Which then, in retrospect, Natsu's E&D power, which has been dormant, wakes up because he witnessed Lucy almost die. And then he goes on a rampage and is turning into E&D. So what happens when Natsu starts marching towards Zareth, trying to kill Zareth? Gray happens to pass by and is like, hey, Natsu. And instead of trying to reason with him, with all the suffering he's been through, Gray just goes, I'm gonna fucking kill you and end this. And they almost kill each other.
Yeah, that really pissed me off.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, listen, I get it. You've been told that you need to fulfill this prophecy, blah, 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 blah. But, like, that's your brother.
Imagine, though, how Gray was feeling. His parents would still be alive. His lover that he didn't know was alive would still be alive. And even his master would be alive if Zareth didn't keep trying to top E&D.
But Natsu didn't know what he was. Like, he had absolutely no fucking idea. And to just be told, first of all, Gray didn't know whether or not he was lying or telling the truth. He just fucking believed him.
And honestly, Natsu didn't do himself favor in E&D form, because he didn't try to deny or do anything. He just said, Gray, get the fuck out of my way.
Which, yeah, they were both pissed off. They were both letting their anger get to them. But I'm like, you're gonna let this come in between everything you two have built. And there's only one thing that stops them. Like, they would have killed each other.
Urza.
If not for Urza.
Who stepped in.
And Urza is like their big sister. She's been their big sister through this entire series, even before Lucy was introduced to the
Which
guild.
pisses me off because we'll talk about ships in a little bit, because we've been going arc to arc and talking about everything. But I'm sorry this is so disjointed, by the way. There's just so much with Fairy Tail.
There's so much. And again, we can talk about everything, but we really can't.
But this is what pisses me off about ships in anime. I hate when people ship either Gray and Urza, or Natsu and Urza, or Gray and Natsu. Like your ship all you want because they're not officially siblings or whatever. They're siblings. Yeah. I can't see it any other way. Like, I just can't. It feels icky to me.
It does feel icky because they're siblings.
Right.
Regardless of the blood relation, they have been in each other's lives for so long.
They're always trying to one-up Urza every time. Every single time. It's just, they're siblings.
And Urza has no idea what they are fighting about. All she knows is that they're fighting, and she's like, listen, something really fucking important just happened, and you two are missing it. Put aside whatever petty bullshit you guys are going through.
She didn't even say what was happening. She just said, we are in the middle of a war right now. Look at the person in front of you. I don't care what happened. Is that your brother or not? Mm-hmm. And, like, it basically sets him up free, along with some wise words from what made Urza cry, Master Makarov's death. You're already tearing up.
Oh my gosh, I teared up so many times during this series. I think that was the only time I bawled.
So, there's a very important player, Irene, who, fun fact, is Urza's mother and the creator of dragon slaying magic. Wasted potential, by the way.
Yeah.
Very wasted potential. Pissed me off how they treated her. But she basically enchants all the soldiers to be monstrous demons, essentially. And they're overpowering everybody. And there's no end in sight. So what does Makarov do? He casts a spell called Fairy Law that was handed down to him by Mavis, who we haven't talked about up until this point. Mm-hmm. Mavis is the original creator of Fairy Tail and is the foil to Zareth because she was also cursed by Unc Selim after he taught her everything he knew. And then he killed her, essentially, because he loved her.
Not on purpose.
Yeah. Not on purpose,
he killed her because he loved her. And as we discussed, anything that he has strong feelings for... Die.
So, yeah, almost dies, I should say, because she is encapsulated in crystal afterwards when he goes, here's her body, bye, and basically, like, is set there for years. So she's free now. Basically, you know, he learned Fairy Law from being handed down. The Fairy Law spell is what basically made Mavis immortal because she tried to cast judgment on life and death, even though she absolutely cannot. That is not in her realm as a mortal. So, basically what Makarov does is the spell attacks anybody the user deems a threat to their family and loved ones. And Mavis is like, the more you use it and the stronger the spell, the more life you lose. You're gonna die. And Makarov's like, I don't fucking care. And Mavis is a strong battle tactician. Like, any plan she has is guaranteed success to some degree. She's a fairy tactician, basically, because she served in many wars. She's smart. So when she's like, I have a plan, you don't have to die, he's like, shut your fucking mouth. He's like, you probably are going to lead us to success, but I'm not doing that when my kid's blood is being spilled. And Urza witnesses him die, like, firsthand, as he's like, trust the bond you have and take care of each other. And just cast the spell. Are you okay?
No!
Are you reliving trauma?
I'm still reliving trauma. And I know how it ends, and I'm still upset.
Oh my god. It was such a powerful moment, though. And it did set... I will say, though, I do like the ending to the Grey and Natsu fight. I just wish we actually got to see said fight. You know?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I also didn't want to see that.
Well, okay. So, that was important. Let's talk about, I guess... You know, we talked about characters we like. We've talked about the world. Let's breeze over this really quick before we get to the final half. Because we've talked about it lightly.
We are an hour and 15 minutes
We're going to talk about the final fucking half, because I got thoughts.
Okay.
The battles. The fights. Great. Amazing across the board. Do you think they got worse, though, with the animation? Because the animation style changed?
No. I personally don't think so.
So here's my thoughts. I think... In the original series, fantastic. The art style was amazing. In the 2014 version, which was the second half of the Grand Magic games, through Tartaros, the best looking fights ever.
Yeah.
I feel like because of like the final arc and how much they tried to rush the animation, I feel like the fights were disappointing and could have been portrayed better.
Yes.
It doesn't help. the source material was like not the best, but they tried, but it wasn't the best still.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess so the fights were fantastic. Do you have a favorite fight you want to talk about?
No.
No? Nothing comes to mind?
No.
They just were all solid?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, that's what I figured. Let's talk about the final arc really quick. And how everything we just talked about almost amounted to jack shit.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. So, first of all, let's go over Zeref's end.
I wasn't mad about that one.
I wasn't either. So, Zeref...
Some people might be.
I get why. So, Zeref essentially was building an army to come into Fiore, the Alvarez Empire, and basically destroy everything to get Mavis, who had the fairy heart magic, use that magic to then combine with his and go back in time and alter the timeline so that way he could get his brother Natsu. They're brothers. His brother died, and he made E&D as a result, to destroy Acnologia, who at this point, he's moving at a pace no one else can. Acnologia is a terror. He is the reason Natsu and everyone on Tenro Island during that arc died, that we assumed. He blew up an island with a roar attack. This man ripped apart the Fire Dragon King Igneal, but only lost an arm. Okay? Igneal was the closest we had gotten to this point of Acnologia even getting scratched. And it was an arm. A whole arm. So, basically, Acnologia and Zeref talked before the battle, and Zeref's like, I cannot wait to beat your ass. Okay? Just you wait. Natsu confronts Zeref, and Zeref, and Mavis is like there with Zeref. Natsu's like, hey Mavis, that's your issue now. Go talk to your boyfriend. And the end for Zeref is fitting because Zeref realizes he could finally rest. Because he was, for the most part, trying to die before realizing nothing could destroy him, quote unquote, and then going on a rampage. Zeref was like, oh my god, the love of somebody else like me was what I needed to finally rest in peace so I'm not alone. So basically, while Mavis is screaming at him, going, I don't care if you die, you ruined everything, fuck you, her true feelings are exuding themselves. And she's killing him. And Mavis is like, take me with you, I love you. And he's like, no, you need to live. And then he's like, damn, I can't hide my feelings, let's just go together. I don't think there was any other end for me.
No, it's what worked. And we didn't really talk about this, but Mavis got her own arc.
Yes.
It was like before any of the events, and it was how she created Fairy Tail. And that's where we got to see the love between the two.
Yeah, because earlier in the series, like Mavis's spirit ghost finds Zeref, and they have a little conversation where he's like, damn, it's been so long. And he's like, I hope you know, Mavis, I'm going to kill everyone you love. And she's like, I really think you can't. And you're left wondering, what just happened in this fun-loving arc about friendship where we're getting this?
Yeah, I don't think there was any other way around it. Like, I would have liked to see more of them together, but, like, it's the only way that it can end for the two of them.
And I think it comes full circle about, never truly being alone, and that even if you're cursed to, like, always ruin everything around you by caring too much, all it takes is someone that understands you to really set things right. And I think that was beautiful. And I think that was a great end. All right, let's talk about Acnologia.
Talk about the not so great end. Oh my gosh.
Can we talk about the fake out death? Okay, first of all, I'm going to talk about this final arc, because after a while, I really started to get pissed off of the fake deaths. Okay?
Yeah.
The first fake death was Gajiel, which pissed you off.
Oh my god.
I thought you were about to cry.
He finally said he loved her.
And then dies.
Die.
Well, actually, he goes to hell, essentially, because the demon is like, I'm taking you with me. And, can we talk about Panther Lily, Gajiel's ex-seed?
Yes.
He really came into his own, because the reason Levy was almost, didn't go with Gajiel to hell is because Lily, despite being Gajiel's bro, cares for Levy too, and knows the bond and is like, I cannot let you die too.
Well,
you
yeah,
can't.
like he's not gonna let Gashio's sacrifice be in vain. Like
He cares about Levi like Gagio does, and he's seen Levi and Gagio's relationship firsthand. Lily knows, and he's like, I can't let you sacrifice
I
yourself.
was like, he is not about to fucking die after he just admitted that he loves her.
And then the second fake out death, Juvia, that one kind of got me, because you know what? I gotta be honest with you, as much as you have all this shit to say about Juvia, she really is, in her way, one of the smartest wizards if she puts her mind to it.
She is, and that's the problem, is we don't see that enough.
We don't see it after Tenro. We don't see it after Tenro, in my opinion. But this moment here, where she sacrifices herself with her magic, that was where it felt like the old Juvia again. Mm-hmm. The same one that in the Battle for Fairy Tail arc, where Freed was helping Loxus out and basically made runes that said, whoever wins this fight gets to leave this battle arena. That's the same Juvia that looked at Kana and said, I'm not fighting my own friend, and sacrificed herself to let Kana go. That's the same Juvia we saw. And I was kind of upset, and it got me. Even though I was like, I know she's not going to die. I've already seen it with fucking, Gagio. But Jesus Christ. And she didn't.
No, yeah.
The one I think we all thought was actually going to stay was Makarov. But
I mean, it made the most sense. Did I hate it? Every fucking minute of it. Did I understand? Yes. He didn't actually die.
Mavis and Zareth give the gift of life back to Makarov, and Makarov's thoughts, and this was beautiful, even though I was like, what just happened? His thoughts was like, I just had the weirdest dream of a barefoot girl and a black-haired boy running through a field of flowers. And I'm getting choked up a little talking about it, because that was beautiful. Like, do I think Makarov should have come back? Not really.
My thing about it is, it feels a little cheap.
Yes.
Because, like, we just had this beautiful moment. Did I want him to die? No. Like, I think Fairy Tail still needs him.
Yes.
And, like, he's an older character. At one point, we're going to have to face the reality of his death.
Yes, which I will clear the spoiler up. At this point in the series, he is not dead in the 100-Year Quest. I repeat, he is not dead.
Yeah, if we continue the series and keep it going, we're going to have to face the reality of his death at one point.
Not now.
Don't make it cheap.
And it did feel a little cheap here, even though it is nice to see him alive. Yeah. And it did show the soft side of Loxus, because this is one of the 3 times in this series he cried, and all 3 were because of his grandfather.
I do think, I don't know, I think it would have been a good opportunity to see the impact that he gave his children and how they would be able to get through the world without him. And
especially after Tartaros, where they held nothing back in regards to big players in important lives dying, this felt so cheap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, everybody got the redemption in the previous arcs. We were going to have to face an arc with death. It was Tartaros. And then this one felt cheap. Which brings us back to Acnologia. Because guess what happens? He has a fake-out death. So there is a rift in time. Because, hey, spoiler alert, they also introduced time travel into this. Because they used time travel to bring Wendy, Gagio, Rogue, Sting, and Natsu into the future, which is why they don't know where their dragon parents are, because their dragon parents hide inside the kids to stop them from being dragonized, and were sent 400 years into the future, which then opened a rift in time, which the ancestor of Lucy, who fell through that rift in time as well, is like, we can use this to defeat Acnologia. Unfortunately, Acnologia sees this and goes, ooh, what the fuck is that? And of course, Acnologia at this point has been shown that he has no specific element. He is just the most powerful thing of all time. Absolutely the most powerful thing at this point. So, how does he die? Before we preface, I want to preface this. Dragon Slayers have an affinity for motion sickness. It's funny throughout the series. It's a joke that never gets old. I'm sorry for all the motion sick haters out there. It never gets old. So, how does he die in this fake out death? Well, there is a character from a guild called Blue Pegasus named Ichiya, who is the dumbest fucking dude of all time.
Stupid.
So pervy, so weird, is a little fruity tooty, fresh and fruity, and likes to go, man. And his fucking magic is perfume based. And somehow he's a strong wizard to counter this. It's hysterical. You know it's bad when they made a whole episode, Invasion of the Body Snatchers style, where fucking Zombie Apocalypse style, more like I should say, where he made a rancid parfum that then proceeded to turn everyone into Ichiya as a side episode.
Yeah.
So how does this partake into Acnologia? Well, he has a flying Pegasus ship that he uses to ram into Acnologia, take advantage of his motion sickness, and push him through the rift of time to destroy him. How did you feel when that happened?
I don't really know how I felt. I don't know.
You were just numb?
I was just, yeah.
So how did you feel when he came back? Because he was eating the rift in time to get even more powerful. How'd you feel?
I just wanted him to die already. I was so over this character.
Like, he was so disrespected. Like, those final chapters before this part, were so disrespectful, especially because earlier on in that same arc, there is a dragon slayer that betrayed Fiore and joined Alvarez named God Serena. And his whole thing is that he's so powerful, he had 7 dragon lacrimas in him at once. I love him because he's a flamboyant, pricky theater boy. She hates him.
I don't hate him.
Why do you hate him?
He was too easy to fucking kill. He was on screen for maybe 2 minutes total.
He got to wreck shit. Acnologia comes on. God Serena's monologuing. Acnologia just walked by and bitch slapped him.
And then he fucking dies. And that's it.
But that shows Acnologia's power, though.
So stupid.
It's disrespectful,
you hyped
but it's
that man up so much.
I know. It
and
was
we got 120 seconds of screen time.
And you know what? They were the best 120 seconds of my fucking life. Thank you very much. I'm going to cosplay God Serena one day.
You do that.
And I am going to be so amazing. But even then, he wasn't disrespected. He was given the power he deserved. That whole part was disrespectful. And then the final fight, because his physical form and his spirit form split because he ate so much magic. So the Dragon Slayers are sent to fight his spirit form, essentially, and his physical form is mindlessly destroying everything based on destructive instinct. He went down so easy. The whole fight even was lame in comparison. Like, there's some cool moments. I'm sorry, Natsu's final power-up using all the Dragon Slayer's magic should have been built up more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Acnologia gets so disrespected in that final fight.
It does, because we've been building him up from the very beginning.
And the only thing that could stop him was Zareth, who is now gone. Yeah. Like, it was so disrespectful. And, listen, I know Fairy Tail's writing isn't S-class stuff, you know what I mean? It's
S-class. I see what you did there.
Anyways, it's not S-class stuff, but it's good writing still for the most part. There are some moments you look at and go, all right, this could have been handled better, but I see the intent. This, I think he just wanted to be done because he was starting Eden Zero around this time. Which is funny, considering he kind of got sick of Eden Zero, I feel like, and then went on to make Fairy Tail a 100-year quest.
Yeah, it seems like he's getting sick of series and just moving on to something without fully considering an ending. Which
pisses me off, because the Alvarez Empire arc as a whole suffers from this.
It's 100%. I get it, like, sometimes you get bored of a series, like, Fairy Tail's a long-ass series. It's over 300 episodes.
But it was worth it.
Huge. But, like, to have over 300 episodes and that be the ending?
Like, it's so disrespectful to everything building up until that point, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, here's how my thoughts are. First half of the Alvarez Empire arc, fantastic. Honestly, I don't know if you agree, honey, but I think it was on par to being the best arc in the series at that point. Do you agree?
Yeah.
And then after Irene basically shapeshifts the world through Universe 1 spell, it fell a little bit. And there was a point during the Gray Natsu fight where I was like, oh, this is going to be even better. And then we don't really see the fight. And it's like, okay, what the fuck is happening?
But I'm okay with that. I didn't want to see that fight.
But
That really would have stressed me out.
But it was so hyped up. The clash was inevitable.
Yeah.
And then, like, it dies back down after Makarov's death, and it's like, oh, this is sad. Gray and Natsu are gonna kill each other, and then realize, and then right after it, they realize, and I'm like, alright, this is weird. And then we get to the final few fights. Irene and Urza's fight, I hate to say it, that was like the most disrespectful fight in the arc, in my opinion, other than Acnologia. Irene, Urza's mother, the supposed creator of dragon slaying, was treated so disrespectfully. I'm glad Wendy got her shine fairly as a growing mage, but that ending to the fight, I'm sorry, it just disrespected her. But then we got back because Zeref versus Natsu was so much fun, and Lucy saving Natsu was so much fun because if Zeref dies, then Natsu dies. But the Book of D&D is given by Mavis to Lucy and Gray, and because she knows they can do something to save him. Even though she doesn't have to because it's not part of the plan, she goes, here, you know what to do with this. Lucy's writing skills come into play. And I think outside of a fight or two, this is her biggest moment.
Yeah.
On my opinion. And then you get August and Gildarts' fight. August is seen as the most powerful mage in the world because he knows every type of magic. Turns out that's a bluff because he just copies magic. And Gildarts, being smart somehow for once, basically notices August copies magic except when Kana throws her cards and is like, there's certain magic you can't control. User magic, isn't that right? And the biggest thing I'm dodging here is that, hey, guess what? The big plot twist is that that's Zeref and Mavis's kid. How did you feel about that, by the way?
Confused.
Yeah?
Because how did they create a child?
Yeah. I mean...
They kissed once and she died.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is another case of the writing, but either way, I liked August.
Yeah, no, I think it's a really interesting concept, but I think if you show us, since he showed us the arc of their relationship, it doesn't make sense that they had a child.
Unless they fucked at one point beforehand.
That we don't know of.
Probably.
I guess, but, like, he kissed her.
I know.
And she died. And that's all we've seen of their romance.
Unless it's implied, even though he doesn't show it, that they kissed and fucked and then she died.
Which is, yeah, that's...
Man, imagine having a fuck so good you have a child and die. That's, or, get catacomb state. That's
But even
nuts.
then, unless pregnancy is different here, which it's not, because we see with Levy...
Yeah.
Who's having a baby. It's not, like, it's still the standard 9 months.
Yeah.
They didn't have 9 months to have a child. It doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, also, she was frozen in a crystal, keep in mind.
Also fair.
So, I mean, again, it's a weird point that, Mashima, I don't think, thought out completely without missing some details that are implied. But I still think August was a character worthy of his mantle, especially because it gave us a heartbreaking moment where we are believed that there's another member of the Alvarez Empire arc named Larcade who claims he's Zeref's son. And Zeref kills him and goes, you're not actually my son. I don't have a kid. You're just a demon from the Book of Zeref. Mm-hmm. And that was heartbreaking. How did you feel about that?
Yeah.
That was heartbreaking.
Yeah, that we saw a different side to him. Because we want to root for him so badly. Because obviously his situation, he's cursed not to be able to love. But then we see, those little moments of hostility and anger that just it gets
under your skin.
And, yeah.
I mean, literally, he was kicking around Larcade going, you're fucking worthless. You ruined my fight with Natsu by being here, you piece of shit.
And it makes it so hard to want to root for him and to want Mavis to end up with him. But, yeah.
But, again,
it adds to the complexity of his character, though.
It does. It's a shame Acnologia didn't get that respect.
No,
Okay, wait. I can't say anything, though, because you're not caught up on the 100-year quest arc.
No, I am
but
not.
It's getting juicy because I literally looked, and I remember being like, oh, who's this character that just walked in? And then another chapter later, they start using magic, and I go, wait, that looks familiar. Oh my god!
Well, we can't get into that. We should start wrapping up this episode. It's getting late.
It's so dismantled. I'm sorry. I hope you like this episode.
Yeah,
okay.
it's
I have a question.
I mean, I warned you at the beginning this was going to be a little more off the cuff and a little bit of a bouncy around.
This was a long-running series that tested how much you're willing to, like, enjoy lore-deep things like this, I feel like. Because even with Agnologia's ending, was it worth it? Even with Alvarez's roller coaster ride, was this series worth it for you?
100%.
Yeah.
Because, like, I just fell in love with everybody, and I'm glad that 100-Year Quest is going on. Like, even if it takes forever to get the new season, because I get to see these characters more.
You're not done with this world.
100-Year Quest, like, as, like, in general.
How do you feel about it so far?
I don't think I love it as much as the main series.
How come?
I feel like we're not getting, I mean, weren't very many episodes, but we're not getting as much of the overall cast as we did in the main series.
Which is valid.
Like, that we're really split up in this one because of the trajectory that this quest is taking us on, and I get it. I don't love it, but I get it.
Yeah. And I will say, it's not completely separating everybody. No spoilers, but it does get pretty cool with other characters, honestly.
Yeah.
But you were saying about 100-Year Quest and continuing on?
But I'm just glad to still be with these characters. I know maybe the author is sick of writing them. I'm not sick of being with them.
Even with the final arc being the roller coaster it was?
Yeah.
It's a good series. I mean, we didn't talk about the ships and the fan service, but, you know. Actually, how did you feel about the ships?
Oh my gosh, there were so many. My favorite is obviously Jalal and Urza, which up until the point that I am at, we still have not gotten confirmation as to whether or not it's a
They're
thing.
in love, but both of them are stubborn and a little bit autistic.
Just a little bit.
Worst part ever, going into 100-Year Quest, there's an opening to an episode where Juvia's talking about practicing kissing, so that when they finally kiss, and Urza's like, you know, I never actually thought about that before. And Juvia's advice was, practice kissing in a mirror. Urza is sitting in a bakery shop and proceeds to kiss a window.
And guess who walks by?
Jalal! You are cringing so hard.
I didn't like it. Well, that's like a big thing for me is like secondhand embarrassment. If a character does something that's like embarrassing and I'm like, oh, so cringy. Well, I can't do it.
And Urza's... Urza got to open up so much because of her friends, and she gets to be her actual self. And her actual self is a theater-loving, cake-loving badass who is a smidge autistic and doesn't get cues.
Yeah.
And I fucking love her for it so much.
I love her very, very much.
Is that your favorite ship, though?
Other than
Levy and Gagiel
and Levy.
Okay.
But yeah, I
think one of my favorites is Gray and Juvia. Like, it's one-handed, sure, but both of them, even if Gray is still being stubborn about it, like, both of them get to find love in a world that felt like they didn't deserve it. Juvia was always outcasted because she's a water user, and she would always bring Rain with her. So every date was like, this is annoying, fuck you. So she felt alone. And then, when she was fighting Gray, because she was a part of Phantom Lord, she felt, first of all, she looked and she was like, man, you're hot, bye. Which was fucking hysterical.
Yeah.
And then, like, through simple acts of kindness, he kind of was like, oh, I don't mind the rain so much. And it made her feel appreciated.
Which is fine. Listen, I'm all for that. It's how strong she comes up, and if the roles were reversed and he was being super creepy to her, everyone would say he's rapey.
Which is so valid.
I don't think it should be excused just because she's a woman. Like, it comes off
for sure.
really bad.
I feel like it's more of like a parody of that for Mashima. You know what I mean? But also, this romance does pay off because it makes the sweet moments between them when Gray actually opens up even more there. Because Juvia at least knows he's on the fence. She's just really pushy about it, which I get. But Gray doesn't help either, and Urza called him out for it. because she was like, you know how she feels. She deserves a straight answer, which basically was our confirmation that, like...
But up until that point, he had been giving her straight answers. He'd been saying no.
Well, it wasn't really no, though.
Right, but he wasn't doing anything to lead her on. It wasn't like he was giving her mixed
the way
signals.
he would hold her sometimes, their unison raid, I mean...
Yeah, but he's also a tiny bit autistic. He didn't know what he was doing.
He loves her, though.
Eh.
It's paying off.
Eh.
Honey!
What?
100-year quest. Remember?
I'm just saying.
Groovia.
Yeah. You know what? They admitted to liking each other, and he still didn't ask her out after how many weeks?
He still thinks he's not strong enough to defend her. That's his thing.
Nah.
And I get it, for his character.
Anyway.
But, okay, what about the fan service? Can we dabble on that? Because it led to one of the worst episodes of all time.
I really don't think it's as bad as a lot of other anime that like literally shove it in your face.
Except
though there
for
is
one
the one
episode.
episode that like its purpose is being fan servicey, and it's during the Grand Magic Games.
It involves Mira Jane.
And it's Mira Jane's fight. And we haven't talked a lot about Mira Jane in this episode, but Mira is...
She's a pacifist.
Yeah, she
used to be aggressive, and...
when she was younger, and we see a lot of that in Mira and Urza's, like, interactions.
Mm-hmm.
Not that they're so mean to each other now, but when they were younger.
Oh, they used to hate each other. They're what Gray and Natsu are now, honestly.
And one of the... like, Mira's power, she's half demon.
Yes.
So when she unleashes that...
Horrifying.
She is the most badass woman in Fairy Tail.
Yeah.
And like you think it's Urza, no, it's Mira.
Yeah. I hate to say it.
And so because she doesn't want to fight in the Grand Magic Games, they agree to do
her and Jenny from Blue Pegasus.
Yeah, they agree to do a bikini contest.
Because she is also a model.
Yeah.
Because she is seen as Fiore's hottest mage. So, they do a swimsuit competition, and it's like, Jesus Christ, and it goes on and on.
And it's not just those two, they get other women
and then
involved,
everybody gets involved. Yes.
Yeah.
They do different categories, like swimsuit, girls with glass. It's kinks the episode.
Yeah. The only reason this episode is even slightly redeemable is because at the end, Mira still kicks her ass.
Because they do like a final, because they agree to a competition, and Jenny's like, you know what? You and I, let's make a bet like everyone else before us. I think whoever loses this fight has to pose for Sorcerer Weekly, the magazine, in the nude. And Mira accepts. And Jenny's like, I calculated this perfectly. I met with the judges beforehand. They're much more into younger girls. And even though Mira Jane was technically older than me, she was in a stasis for 7 years, which means she's still a little younger than me, which means they're obviously gonna pick. And, basically they're like, the final one is battle armor. And Jenny's like, I got a great battle armor, don't you think? And Mira's like, yeah, I think you do. And while we're at it, why don't we have our own little fun? And Jenny's like, excuse me, what now? And Mira Jane, up until this point, who is using very few demon powers, unleashes what is called the God Emperor armor, demon armor, and basically is like, I honored your agreement. I'm asking you to honor mine. And Jenny's like, are you serious? And Mira's like, yes. One-shots her, wins the fight technically, and then just kind of resorts back to her pacifist style and goes, I really appreciated the battle. Look forward to your issue. And I'm like, okay, that made everything a little better.
Yeah.
But the rest of the episode was dog shit.
Yeah, it wasn't a good episode.
Especially because Wendy was involved.
I know, I was going to say.
I hated that.
Even the younger characters get involved, and it's weird, it's gross, it's creepy.
It's disgusting, and then it's ruined by Grandma.
Yeah.
Like, there's a bathing suit competition, or actually, no, they moved on to the wedding one, and then the grandma from Lamia Scale, I forget her name, is like, let me show you how it's done. Comes out of the bathing suit, and the guys are like, well, my boner's gone. Party's over. Which was nuts. Actually, let's talk about Bob.
Oh my god, Bob!
Shout out Bob.
My gay icon!
Speaking of other guilds and their masters and all that shit, how about Bob?
Bob is the love of my life.
He's a gay icon.
He is obsessed with Gray.
He's a gay icon.
I love them. He is a gay icon.
Like, genuinely.
All right, we could talk about all of this on and on and on and on. Is
Oh
there
my God.
any other major plot we want to talk about before we wrap it up?
There's so much I want to talk about, genuinely. But I just want to get your thoughts on Fairy Tail, because this is, like, I think one, other than the series that we're going to talk about at the end, this, which is more of a video game, spoilers, I guess, this is the first big TV show I got you into that was heavy on lore. It was the first anime I got you into. I didn't know how you were going to react to any of this, especially because I warned you people don't like it for some of these reasons.
Mm-hmm.
With all of this in mind, how do you feel about Fairy Tail at the end?
I love this series. I love this series so much. It took us a really, really long time to get through it. And it wasn't because of the show. It was because, A, my issues with watching new things and, like, needing to be able to focus on new things. B, the fact that it was over 300 episodes long.
Yeah.
And just because of, like, the amount of anxiety this show gave me because of how connected I was to the characters and my love and respect for the show. Like, I love this so much, but I'm so glad for every minute that we watched this. This is one of the first things that you introduced me to, like, after we started dating.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm really grateful for it.
It's one of my favorite. And again, I know people don't like the friendship is power thing. I get it's overused in the final arc especially, but it doesn't take away from the fact there's so many good layers to it. Urza getting to shed her armor. Natsu learning that he can be afraid and admit to losing, and it doesn't make him any less weaker of a person. Gray opening up. Lucy. Makarov being the role model that everyone... Okay, listen, Lucy has her moments, though.
She does have
I
her
just
moments.
wish she was treated better.
I agree, because she's supposed to be our main character. She's supposed to be the one telling the whole story, and it's like, is that her only purpose? To be the scribe and to be the
sex appeal.
And the sex
They
appeal.
use her a lot for it.
Yeah.
And it's so
but
annoying.
But even then, they call her ugly 90% of it. Like, she's
Bro,
trying
fucking
to show
Natsu.
Happy.
Happy's an
happy
asshole.
more than Natsu. Natsu's just oblivious.
Yeah.
Which is another ship that we could talk about.
Yeah, but, like, I feel like this episode was essentially how Mashima kind of treats Lucy sometimes. There's moments, but, like, you know what I mean. But, again, going back to those, Gaji, Aloxis, you know, Elfman, Mira Jane, Lizana, who we didn't even talk about.
I know, there's
Lizana
so
was the
much
driving point for Elfman and Mira Jane. Sting, Rogue, Leon, Jorah, Zareth even more. There were so many people. Meldy? Fucking old tier?
I know. If we had more time, like if we didn't take so long with sci-fi, we probably could have done a couple of episodes on Fairy Tail alone.
Yes.
And like delved further into different arcs. We just don't have that kind of time.
Agreed.
As much as I would love to, but overall, Fairy Tail is solid. I can't wait until the next season of the anime comes out.
Maybe.
Like, I've been hoping for that.
Yeah.
Which is why I've been holding off on reading the manga. There's just something charming about the anime. Like, I've yet to sit down and watch an anime that has captured me in the same way that Fairy Tail has.
Is it one of your favorite media pieces you could say of all time, honestly?
I think so.
Top 5, maybe?
Probably.
It's one of my top 5. All gripes aside, because honestly, there is objectively much better crafted anime and stories out there.
I'm sure there are. I just haven't found any yet.
But even then, in my opinion, Fairy Tail still stands the test of time because it still gives positive role models and positive lessons about friendship and bonds that, we see a lot of, but it does it in its own way by showing literally how bonds can make magic and make you so much more powerful. And that the right bonds and right role models can change you. And I get it. There are better ones, absolutely. But this series is so beautiful to me still, and it means the world to me. It's an amazing anime, an amazing manga, and it's a world that I'm so in love with that I'm crafting a tabletop on. Like, because Connor's currently on it right now, too. I got Connor onto it, and he's just past the Grand Magic Games after all this time. I cannot wait for him to catch up, but I love this series with my whole heart. It's one of my top 5 for sure. It's a beautiful series that I feel like, other than some hiccups in writing, will stand the test of time as a damn good shonen anime. That is one of my favorite pieces of media that, as a teen that was really going through it, really put into perspective how good life is when you have the right friends beside you and the right people beside you. So,
Aww.
and I got my one right here. So
That was really cute.
Yeah.
You do like me on the internet.
yeah, maybe. But again, it's a beautiful series. I can't sing enough praises for it, except for Acnologia. Holy shit. That was a letdown.
I
Womp
know,
womp.
and I've always said that endings are like a make or break for me. It has to, like, if it's a really good series, the ending could ruin the rest of it. I don't think that was the case with this. Well, it is disappointed. Like, it's disappointing, and I am really upset by it. It didn't ruin the rest of it for me.
I mean, the ending was beautiful too.
Yeah.
Because, like, it brought everything together beautifully. And it played your favorite opening of all time, which was the first Fairy Tale opening.
I have a music box for it.
She does. That I got her. But it's a beautiful show. And it's a beautiful manga series. And if Mashima is truly done with Fairy Tale after this possible one-off little series that's going to be published in August to celebrate 20 years of this series, and if 100 Year Quest is probably the end after this, which I don't know, it could seem like it the way they're going.
I don't think it should be. I think it should go on and on and on.
No, eventually we might hate it. We don't want to do that.
Yeah, it could be a SpongeBob situation.
That's exactly it. If 100 Year Quest and this series are the end of an era for Fairy Tale, even if he continues after this and the media isn't as good, if this is the end of true greatness, I'm very happy where I'm at right now with Fairy Tale. And I will forever love answering the question, do fairies have tails? Because there never really is an answer to that unless you truly find it for yourself going on these adventures with your friends and loved ones. So, bravo to Hiro Mashima for creating something so beautiful out of something so tried and true in anime, which is the power of friendship, and making it mean something in so many different layers for so many different walks of life.
Yeah. Well,
cool.
Thank you for hanging out with us in this very weird, bumpy
This
episode.
whole month's gonna have long episodes.
Yeah.
Because it's such, there's so much to talk about. What's the next episode, speaking of which, honey?
We're going into the next series that we started and finished. I actually think we might have finished this one before we finished Fairy Tale.
Yes.
But we started it afterwards. It is a series that we have loved for a long time. I have not continued on with the sequel series.
And it's getting a movie right now.
It's getting a movie right now.
That was supposed to be released in theaters. Paramount.
We have gone to see the live concert for it twice.
And hopefully a third time.
Hopefully
a third time.
It's Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes, not Legend of Korra. Like she said, she has not watched Korra yet, which she should, considering the third series is around the corner soon.
I know.
But we're going to talk about this, and arguably, Avatar means more to me than Fairy Tale.
Okay.
Because Avatar, in my opinion, is one of the greatest pieces of media of all time. It is amazing. I'm getting fucked up talking about it in Fairy Tale already. End the episode. I'm going to fucking cry.
Thanks for hanging out with us in the Catch-Up Corner. We will see you next time. We love you. Goodbye.
Bye.